Hugh and John Cohen doubling down on Auburn's recruiting strategy.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and we're ready to get after it. Happy Tuesday. Auburn coach Hugh, Auburn athletic director John Cohen, even Butch Thompson spoke last night at the Auburn-Atlanta ambush event prior to them going on the big stage today. Talked last night about recruiting, talked about the team. We're going to focus specifically on the recruiting aspect as they seem to double down, and there seems to be unity. It's not just Hugh Freeze. It's not just John Cohen. Butch Thompson jumps in as well. And then a key quote I think we all need to digest and understand: patience versus inactivity. They don't have to mean the same thing. We're going to jump into all that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to Rowback.com. Use coupon code BARN20 to take 20% off your order. I got my Rowback licensed Auburn hoodie on today. People love this thing. And it's sharp looking and it feels great as well. They got polos, they got pullovers, they got shorts, pants, joggers, swimsuits, doesn't matter. They got everything. You can save big at the same time. Check them out. It's rowback.com. Like I said earlier, the guy spoke last night at the Auburn ambush event, spoke to the media prior to the event, which I assume is like an Auburn alumni event where Atlanta area people and basically anybody who's close can come hang out and talk with the coaches and shake hands and things like that as they sort of get amped up before everybody goes on stage for Auburn today. The key conversation for today, and I think the key conversation that really dominates the conversation is around recruiting. I mean, it's no secret that Auburn is well behind where they want to be. And there has been a huge discussion around, is Auburn doing it the right way? Or other teams not doing it the right way? Is that what's causing, Auburn to be where they are? Should they adjust their strategy? And so on and so forth. That's dominated the conversation over the last several weeks, ever since that Lake Martin ambush event just a couple of weeks ago. Well, it seems like at least until August 1st, there's nothing's changed. It's status quo. When asked about the recruiting strategy, Freeze says that they believe they're still operating by the terms of the settlement and are going to continue to do that. If something changes, they'll adjust, but they're going to operate in the manner that they have a cap. And I think that's the key. That's the key term there. Operate in the manner as if they have a cap. You noticed a couple of coaches yesterday, they used the term supposed when they talked about the cap, the salary cap, supposed cap. In other words, it's out there. It's out there, and we're supposed to abide by it. But like maybe there's not as many people abiding by it, or we're not really sure how we're going to abide by it as we think, and we're not really sure how it's going to be enforced. I think that sort of justifies, I guess, a little bit of what everybody's concern is. Obviously Auburn, it's affecting them a little bit more than others. But yeah, you got to play. Auburn's going to operate as if they are working under and working with a salary cap. John Cohen went on to say that, hey, we were given specific guidelines by the SEC, and we're operating by them. And we're going to continue to operate by them until it's basically clear that this is not the operating method in which we're going to, the rules at which we're going to play by. Freeze also went on to say, and this is sort of echoes what I was talking about yesterday, that it's impossible for him to basically give an NIL value to a kid right now, and know that it's going to be legitimate. Would the understanding of NIL go, and will it or will it not be approved? That's something that he's struggled with. Being able to say with certainty, I'm going to be able to get you this. I think that has been the huge conversation. And again, I talked about it yesterday. It's a really big gamble to say on paper, I promise I'll get you X amount in NIL outside of rev share. Put rev share to the side. We're just talking about NIL. I promise I'll get you this, and I'm going to put it on paper. Then again, you have to justify, and you have to get approved every single dollar of it. Every single dollar of it. If you miss $1, you're on the hook for it. And it goes all against your salary cap. So when Hugh says that, that's what he's talking about. I don't know how these dudes are given guaranteed numbers, because there's no way we can know that these numbers that are being thrown out there's no way that we can know they're going to be justified. And if there's no way we can know, there's going to be a lot of people that miss, and then a lot of those numbers are going to go against salary cap. So if we're operating under the guise of a salary cap that's in mind, there's no way you can, I'm speaking as Hugh Freeze, there's no way we can put this, there's no way we can promise that. There's no way anybody can promise that. So I think if you're expecting some big change between now and August 1st, I got news for you. It's not coming. It's not coming for at least the next, 15, 16 days. I would not expect anything change. And I think Auburn could still pick up a couple of commits between now and then. So won't be the end of the world. But I think that makes a lot of sense. And, when you hear it from them, you hear it straight out of their mouth, it kind of confirms a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about on here the last several weeks. You're kind of moving in the right direction. So, again, I'm relaying the news and the justification for the mindset. I'm not excusing anything, okay? Two things can be true at once. This could be the reasoning behind their actions, which seem to be completely justifiable, and then there's no excuse for Auburn to be last in the SEC or whatever it is, where Auburn is as far as recruiting goes in July. But the good news is it's not December. Still a long way till December. So Auburn can make a move at any point in time. We're going to talk about that in just a second, because they made mention of that. We're going to talk about unity as well. I thought this was interesting. It's not just Hugh Freeze that's on board. And we'll discuss that in just a second. We'll be right back after this. Butch Thompson also visited for the ambush event, and he echoed a lot of the same things. He echoed a lot of the same messaging that you hear from Hugh and that you hear from John Cohen. Everybody at Auburn seems to be on the same page. Everybody at Auburn that recruits kids to their program seems to be operating under the same assumption. Now, Butch, there's less high school guys that he has to deal with. I feel like as the years go by, it's going to be more portal, but still, you got buy-in from multiple coaches. And I think if Hugh and Butch are on board, then I'm sure the basketball staff, the basketball staff is going to be on the same page as well. So that's good, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, these coaches, They do work for the athletic director, but their tail's on the line here. So if there's something that they feel could be hamstringing them, could be hurting them, I think they're going to be a lot louder. They're going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot more friction than it seems. It seems like not only, I understand there's some times on Hugh's face when you can tell he's frustrated, but I think he's frustrated with the results right now and probably frustrated with the process that they're currently under. That like it, sort of being a little bit impatient, which we're going to talk about patience in just a second, but maybe being a little bit impatient. Like, man, I know if y'all can just hang on and stop going ahead and pulling the trigger and committing, you just wait, you're going to see. Even though he has some of that you see every now and then, you do feel a bit of not only unity, but a little bit of confidence across the board as far as the direction that they're going and the methods in which they're using. So it's not just Hugh, it's not just John. You got Butch on board as well, and that, as an Auburn fan, ought to make you feel a little bit more confident that they're doing things correctly. Now, obviously, you still got to see the results. Now, I know it's not fun. And I know that sometimes I think this is where the whole golf thing came into play, is that Auburn is being patient. Auburn is being patient with this deal, and fans are not being patient. We want urgency. We want results now. We're seeing across the state success. We're seeing a lot of other teams. I mean, basically every other team in the conference have success. So when we're impatient, we assume somebody's not working or nothing's going on behind the scenes to fix things. And I think, again, that's where the golf thing came into play. Auburn sucks in recruiting right now, so they must just not be working. They must just not be doing anything. That's got to be what it is, right? They're not trying to fix anything behind the scenes. They're not doing this. They're not doing that because we're not seeing results. I wonder what could be the cause. Oh, it's Hugh playing golf. That's exactly why recruiting is so bad. Hugh's not even recruiting. He's just playing golf. That's where that comes from. And Hugh had a great quote, and John Cohen basically reiterated it. And he said it was sort of, from what I understand, he said it was sort of a wry grin on his face. He said, hey, don't confuse patience with inactivity in regards to what's being done behind the scenes in case you got to pivot. John Cohen mentioned, if we got to pivot, Auburn is going to do everything they can do to be successful. We're going to do everything within the guidelines. We'll do what it takes. Auburn's prepared to do what it takes to not just compete, but compete at the upper levels. If we need to pivot in that direction, that's what we'll do. I know for a fact of things that are going on behind the scenes from a getting prepared to pivot situation if they have to. Now, they don't believe they're going to have to. They believe once numbers start coming out on paper, that some eyeballs will be opened a little bit, and the sort of maybe the truth will come out, and the confidence that they show makes me believe that it's probably going to happen somewhat close. Now, it may not be perfect. It may not be as crystal clear as it was prior, but it does lead me to believe that, hey, they may be onto something, because it's hard. It's just hard to imagine them being so confident about something and be so wrong. Very well can happen. But the good thing is, if they are wrong, and I hate to even say that, if they are wrong, that doesn't even, you can't be wrong on this. This is black and white. If they are interpreting this by the letter of the law. So it's not so much of if they are wrong. It's that if their strategy has to be altered, okay? and still try to operate with as much transparency as they possibly can. If they have to alter their strategy so they don't get buried, they're willing to do it, and they're prepared. They're prepared behind the scenes. Trust me on that. They're prepared behind the scenes on two fronts to be able to do that. Understand that that's being worked on behind the scenes. John Cohen said that on the 2 hour drive to the 2 hour drive to Atlanta, Hugh's taken phone calls, had 7 recruits call him, or he talked to on the way. And there's a joke there about the golf courses being closed on Mondays, but I'll digress. I saw that thrown out there. That was funny because that was the immediate thought that I had. Well, of course it's on Monday because the golf course closed, but that's obviously, I'm kidding. But like, do people really think that Hugh just stopped recruiting? Do people really think that he's made his whole career basically off of being able to assemble talent, being able to create relationships? Do people really think he's just not talking to anyone, that he's not recruiting his, with everything that he's got? It's a different world, guys. It's a different world. And Auburn operates with sometimes, I've said this, I've been consistent with it, a painful level of transparency. Sometimes it pays off in the end, though. When things get a little murky, who can I depend on? And a lot of times that's paid off in Auburn's favor. So if you're expecting some big revelation and some big culture shift and some big strategy pivot right now, you're going to be disappointed. And the thing is, at this point in time, there's no reason to change what you're doing. There's no reason to change anything that you're doing until it's pretty clear that you got to change what you're doing. And that's not here yet. That's not here yet. When things start going basically where they're promised and they're guaranteed and they're enforceable, and it's still out of whack, then you got to make some adjustments. We got to flip those switches, those 2 areas that I was talking about. We got to flip those switches on, and we got to get to work. And I think Auburn's got the resources. I'm not worried about the resources. They're there. It's just a matter of figuring out how to use those resources and keep it within the rules, within the guidelines, is what's going to be key. So there's a lot of team talk too. We're going to break that down throughout the week. They're excited about this team. Hugh, you can tell, is very excited about this team. He's excited about this roster, and I think they expect to be really good. It's not to tamper expectations. I think he feels like they're going to be really, really good. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for participating. I'm having such a blast with this. I'm just ready for some wins. I'm ready to talk about some success. I'm ready to talk about some wins. Recruiting has been fun up until this point, but I'm ready. I'm ready to be celebrating dubs with you guys. So we're going to be back again soon. A lot of SEC Media Days talk, and we'll keep you in the loop. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.